The following is a special presentation of KDOW. Money Pulse. Monitoring the heartbeat of money. From Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. Now here's your host, Dynasti E Young.
All right, welcome to the Money Pulse today. We have a special guest, Arden Jackson. He's joining us from the Silicon Valley Young Republicans. Hi, Artist. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
It's really exciting. I haven't had anyone like you on this show yet. We talk a lot about business and economics. And of course, you know, government and politics do come to play with those subjects. So I wanted to introduce my listeners to Silicon Valley Young Republicans and just young Republicans in general. Actually, it's very interesting, whether they're young Republicans or young Democrats. It's interesting. It's an interesting place to be when you're a young person participating in government politics, because it feels like, you know, the older generation is kind of in charge and at lead with that. 61% of California voters are over 65 and they take the majority of the votes. I'm sure that's, you know, on us as young Republicans or Democrats, young people, young voters, to not be contributing. But I would love to hear about your organization and when Silicon Valley Young Republicans was officially founded, who were the key individuals, why it was established.
So Young Republicans of Silicon Valley was basically started around, I would say, mid to late last year. I got introduced to an individual named Angel at one of the Republican events that I went to. And he talked to me about how he wanted to start a new chapter for younger Republicans to attend and have a group for them to be part of. And so we had conversations about, you know, he asked if I wanted to be part of that. And of course, I jumped at that chance. And so that's how I got involved. And we just exchanged ideas. And then from there, we started kind of meeting other younger Republicans at different events that we would go to and just telling them about what the group is about and just letting them know that there's a place for them. And so the mission right now is, in a general sense, is to provide an alternative for young voters out there who wants to be involved in voting, for some younger people who don't think that their vote matter, and will feel like the system is against them. The Silicon Valley Young Republicans is there as an alternative to this quote-unquote system of California, and it's just an alternative for them to explore and get some exchange views and then make an informed decision on where they would like to take that.
So it sounds like you guys are pretty open, and I have to really resonate with the sentence that you said, you know, being in California when your vote doesn't matter. You know, I, as a registered Democrat for a long time, turned Republican, I thought that my vote didn't matter. So a lot of us, no matter what positions we're in, it sounds like the Silicon Valley Young Republicans really just want to be a resource for you to speak your mind, no matter what your beliefs are.
Yes, exactly. And so we want to be able to welcome all young people from all walks of life. We wanted to put something in the Silicon Valley area because just to have a choice for them as well. And being that a lot of young people in the Silicon Valley area are very intellectual and they like exchanging information and learning information and absorbing information, we figured the young Republican chapter here could be an alternative for them to learn alternative views and share their views as well. And we think that it can contribute to their success here in Silicon Valley as well.
I love that, Artist. And Artist, what is your position now with the group?
So my position, I initially started off as secretary. And then as the group started to gain more members, I transitioned to vice president.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So Vice President Artist Jackson here with me today. I should have done the correct introduction here. So that's wonderful. Like inclusion, understanding, open ears, sensible minds. It sounds like that the Silicon Valley Young Republicans are all about here in California, which is so important because we're a diverse state.
Yeah.
So you said your mission. Can you speak to your mission a little bit more to us, kind of better for a better understanding of the mission of your group?
So initially, me and Angel discussed the mission as being basically a platform for younger people in the area to explore Republican ideals, and basically we wanted to provide a alternative to the prevailing, viewpoint. We don't want to get too much into that, but I will say that we wanted to be an inclusive place for people who don't always feel like the system works for them. And for younger people who feel kind of silenced, we wanted to be a platform to give them a voice, and for them to share their ideals so that we can try to promote their ideals into becoming actual legislation or any form of political action. We want to kind of explore what those ideals are to convert into action. So we're basically we wanted to be a platform for people to explore alternative beliefs and basically voice their opinions and empower them to feel like they do have a voice, their vote do matter, and to lean on us to give them that support to be able to transform that vote or ideals into action.
That's really powerful. So you said your initial mission was one thing. So this is kind of where it evolved to, is kind of being there for the young people to expand and explore their political brains and such. Is that what you would say?
Basically, you could say we were like we want to be like a room where they can explore or test their ideas out. And we have civil debate, civil conversation. So basically just to help, make their ideals or to test their ideals be a place where they can kind of better mold their ideas, get a better understanding of their ideas, and kind of
like a safe place for their ideas to be discussed and politely.
Kind of like a garage for the tech whiz here.
I like that. Yeah. Just talking with the friends and having a friendly and respectful disagreement, because we can all agree to disagree on many things in life. So I think that's wonderful. Do you guys have any, or do you personally have any highlighted like impactful events or initiatives over the last couple of years that symbolize what you guys stand for, or just really stood out to you that you can recall?
I would say that within the last election of last year, we realized then that we're a bit more influential than initially thought. We actually realized that there were more Republicans in the state of California that contributed to the election of Trump as president. There were counties that either went purple or went red, but that showed that there are voices out there that has an alternative view than what the system provides. And that was very inspiring for us. And I think that really invigorated a lot of us to show that we do have a voice and we can make a difference with that voice.
Yeah, I think that speaks to a lot. We know that there's a supermajority here in California, good or bad, whatever you may view. But it is kind of strange to only hear one view growing up and one side and one party. So it felt like very much a one party state. So I think that purple reflection, kind of shows that there's a fair and fluid communication level that is so needed. And it sounds like you guys are really contributing to that communication throughout California.
I would say so, because that showed that when there is an alternative platform, people can have conversations and they may actually find out that they may not be part of the system. They may not be part of the supermajority here. And it can be very inspiring to them to know that there's a safe place for them to maybe explore if they're having maybe some doubts on some beliefs, and maybe they want to be open-minded to different ideals, and having a platform or a place where they can explore those can actually turn into votes, which can be basically an alternative from the supermajority. And I would say there's been recent events throughout the Bay Area itself, like the crime situation here, where they passed a measure that overwhelmingly went against the governor's wishes, where they make punishment very strong for people who commit crimes and stop doing soft on them. The voters overwhelmingly showed that they did not agree with that viewpoint, even though that was kind of the one that was being pushed out there. But I think people seeing that there was a different view, there was a different outcome when they actually was experiencing it firsthand. And so that created a good opportunity, again, for other Republican chapters to spread throughout the Bay Area as well. I understand there's one in San Francisco. And just getting DAs removed and putting in new DAs who are a little bit more center than just the super far left. I think that does show that there is a pushback that can happen when there's an alternative viewpoint.
Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. You're listening to Money Pulse on AM 1220 KDOW.
It is important for a leader in our government in powerful positions of authority to have a balance of understanding.
Exactly. And I think that when we have more of a balanced approach and we don't have just one party ruling everything, what happens is that you can get more ideals that maybe they're not aware of. Maybe they're not aware of the fact that, like in the crime situation, that there were a lot of businesses leaving communities because they didn't feel safe. They didn't feel there was enough punishment to deter crime happening. San Francisco would be a good example, where a lot of the mall strips there were completely abandoned by the business community, and that also was felt by the residents there. And so
I heard Union Square was like completely like abandoned, pretty much.
Yeah, I went to there, and I went there about a year and a half ago. It was like all these really luxurious stores there. It was a really
super high end, fun place. Shopping. Yeah. What happened?
And so what happened was that because they had made it, they reduced the punishment for theft. A lot of the businesses were getting broken into. A lot of them were being vandalized. And then we saw that trickle from San Francisco, and it started happening throughout the entire Bay Area. So that showed people once again that when you just had one viewpoint being prevailed, the problem grew instead of being fixed. And so when they explored a different alternative view, they found out that, hey, that actually deters crime. So a lot of the businesses left just simply because they didn't feel like they had the support of the supermajority here in California. And so that ended up affecting San Francisco and other cities in the Bay Area very badly, to the point where they actually recalled some of the DAs who were putting just this one alternative, this one supermajority viewpoint. They actually got recalled because of it. So, and it also led to a mayor in Oakland being forced out.
Yes.
So people do want a balanced approach. They don't want just a supermajority. It doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work most of the time.
Right. It's too bad it has to be so black and white, because to me, someone robbing my jewelry store that I'm running in San Francisco should be just a human touch point, not a left or a right or a middle or undecided. It should be just humanity, sticking up for humanity, and right from wrong and wrong from right. And it's just terrible how it's really kind of divvied us up, and especially young Republicans being within that identification is it's for me very challenging to understand, like sensible, logical versus why is this a political standpoint. But yeah, I think you made some really great points. So we'll move on, because we don't want anyone to get too touchy on this. We are totally neutral in this conversation. We're just talking about what us young people think about what's going on in this world and why people do make the decisions that they're making. And so for the Silicon Valley Young Republicans group, what kind of community service or volunteer opportunities do you guys have or had in the past? And, what do you think about those?
So I would say one of the ideas that we were exploring was contributing to those who are homeless here in the Bay Area. The homeless situation here is a human problem. It's not a left or right problem.
Right.
It is a situation where human beings are being neglected here in the Bay Area, and one of the areas with the wealthiest people in the area. And so what we wanted to do was explore ways that we can basically try to change the outcome of them being homeless. We didn't feel that just giving them money and stuff like that would actually help. So we wanted to kind of make it where we can see if we can try to maybe have them attend some classes. We were talking about what those how those classes might look like, but basically it would be basically trying to change their mindset from where they won't want to be homeless anymore. They'll want to actually get a job and actually want to contribute to society and the Bay Area in which they live, and basically just trying to kind of giving them a reason to not want to be homeless and to basically know that there's a solution out here that we can give them that'll actually that can actually help them long term. So basically teaching them to fish and not just giving them fish. That was one of the things we were talking about.
That's awesome. And you guys are fairly a new chapter. So looking to the future, we can expect you guys to probably be holding some community opportunities for volunteering and serving the homeless community, or something like that, where we can all contribute and be a part of the change rather than just ignoring them and making them feel like they're nothing important. Exactly.
And I think it's just showing them compassion and kindness, and just giving them solutions. At the end of the day, a lot of the homeless people in the area has heard from both left and right, that, how wrong it is that they're, the bad things that they contribute to, the upkeep of the community, and, why are they the way they are? And it's just a negative stereotype around being homeless. That was something that's passionate to me because I was homeless here in California a few years ago. So it is something that is near and dear to me. And so I just think we should try to approach it with compassion and a solution. And so that's just one of the events we wanted to do where we can kind of make a meaningful change.
Thanks for sharing that, Artist. That's not easy to share because that's a really, a sad time, I'm sure, for you. But obviously you were able to work your way out of it, and you wanted to do better and be better. And you have a beautiful family now, and things are possible for people that are down and out, that maybe have given up, that just need to hear maybe your story or hear some motivation from someone like you.
Exactly.
I love that.
I think that's something we can all do at the end of the day.
Compassion, human compassion, and love for each other. Love the people that you're with, love your community. And I'm sad about the homeless people down the street on the side of the road. And it's ruining our neighborhoods. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But instead of complaining about it, why don't we do something about it?
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you guys have some events coming up. We're going to start seeing you guys more often. I know your website's under construction, and your full digital presence will be coming up soon. So it looks like BayAreaGOP.com. Luis, I think, is on there, can help with anybody with questions or steering them in the right direction, as well as the California Young Republicans Federation, which is CAYRF as in Frank, federation.org. But yeah, Bay Area GOP, I've seen a lot of you guys have events posted there. So if anyone listening is looking to maybe join an event or, just stop in and say hello, totally fun people, open armed people. I was lucky enough to meet Angel, the president of this organization, back in the beginning of June with open arms. And it was my first time ever being at some kind of event like that. So I would encourage anyone listening, no matter what your real views are, if you want to just, go and feel like you're accepted and have some intelligent conversations and sometimes some challenging conversations if you choose to do so, definitely check them out. So I have a question. Who typically do you see in your group? Who's in your organization? Who are your members? What do they look like?
Well, I will say that our organization is very diverse. We have an age range from early 20s to mid to late 30s, from different backgrounds, different religions, and it's a very welcoming place for everyone that's involved. We're very respectful of one another. Even when we have some disagreements, it's very respectful. And I love the fact that we explore our backgrounds and we explore what made us who we are today. And we lean on each other to bring solutions for all of us.
Thank you, Artis. Everyone, this is Artis Jackson, Vice President of the Silicon Valley Young Republicans, here just kind of giving some life advice, some real stories, insight on his own world and living here in California, its challenges and just struggle to face understanding with people our age and older. So I encourage you all to look them up. Also, you can find more information on events at bayareagop.com. I know right now, until their official website is posted, hopefully in the next couple weeks here, you can find any kind of communications at that website, bayareagop.com, and events posted there as well. Thanks again, Artis.
This has been Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet.
Hey, want to be on this show? I'd love to have you in your business or organization. Please reach out to me, Dynasti E Young. I'm the host of Money Pulse. My phone number here is 408-761-0150. It's also on your screen. Don't be shy. Send me an email, Dynasti, Dynasty for Young, at salemsf.com. I'd love to meet you and showcase you on my show. Thanks so much for listening.